I'm not so perfect, baby, are you ready? I'm ready, I'm ready.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Ari Moon, and we are back for our fifth and final episode of the Interviewing a Therapist Chronicles.
Creator Chronicle. Chronicle.
Of Narnia.
Chronic. Oh.
Is that what chronic and chronicle together go?
I don't know. We'll have to ask those that we know that would know.
Ring ring, Duck Demonic. Alright. We're gonna kick it up with. We're gonna avoid doing that really intense one until the end.
Oh, geez. Okay.
How do you improve self-esteem? Because mine hecka sucks and nothing works.
Did they actually say hecka?
Yes.
I love it.
I know, I say that a lot too. That's great.
I'm like, oh, God, I should get that filter. Okay, self-esteem. Number one self-esteem killer. Wait for it. You just said you struggle with this. Ready for it?
Drum roll, please.
I heard the term, which is not a real word, but I love it. Comparisonitis.
I love that.
Do not compare yourself to other people. You are you. You're unique. You have your own strengths. And the people you look at who are seemingly confident, right? They're battling their own stuff, unless they're narcissistic. That's a whole different episode.
Yeah, we know a lot of those people.
You can go to my page and we can talk about that separately. But everyone's battling their own issue with self-esteem. If you want to beat it, stop comparing yourself to other people. People who make more money, people who are smarter, funnier, prettier. Insert issue here. Be the better you, right? What can I do today that was better than who I was yesterday? That's it. Find your qualities. You have them. And a beautiful exercise in building up self-esteem, and I have a lot of my clients do this, I say reach out to at least 3 people and ask them, what would you say my top 3 strengths or qualities are? And I did it myself because I figure if I'll ask my clients to do something, I have to do it, and it is a little awkward. But when you get their responses, it's incredibly heartwarming, and people see things in you may not see at all. So, yeah. So do it then. We'll talk about them.
I feel really attacked in this. I should have done a different series.
Oh, jeez. Next time she's interviewing a veterinarian or something.
No, next time I'm interviewing a band. Get it right.
Oh, okay.
You can tune in for that. That's happening in August.
There you go. I'm just a filler until she gets a new band, but I'll take it. I'm a rock star in my own mind. Has that not always been my saying?
Yeah,
rock
it is.
star in my own mind.
It has been since I was like almost 19 years ago. So.
Yeah.
So, what are ways you can train yourself to sleep better?
Turn screens off. I'm guilty of that one myself, but
I think everyone's good.
I think so too. So ways to sleep better. Sleep hygiene is huge. Have a routine. It's maybe take a bath, get your PJs on, have some herbal tea, use some essential oils, listen to something calming, guided imagery.
Criminal Minds.
Turn off your TV. Turn off your TV, your phone, your tablet. If it is plugged into a wall and it is not a nightlight, turn it off, okay? Or I just totally blew that one because listening to guided imageries is a great way to get into the habit of going to sleep easily. A personal favorite, New Horizon. You can actually check out their stuff on YouTube.
I'll put a link down below in case you're interested.
Amazing. But it is developing a pattern, a habit. Same sleep time every night as close as possible, right? We have nights where we go out, we have fun, we do things, or we get sick and we go to bed early. And then getting up at the same time every day. I know for anybody who works at 4 a.m., that sounds really unappealing to do on their day off. But if you really want a healthy sleep pattern, within a couple hours, give or take, it will make it easier.
Oh God, working.
I love getting up that early. Well,
Yeah, but I've already decided in my own way, you're crazy. So I don't have to be a therapist to know that.
you're anyone else who knows me.
Right? It's almost like it's
But
genetic.
it's like lovable crazy. Anyway. Yeah. We could get way in from others, but we'll just go with us.
How can you help someone who is in constant fear?
It depends on the fear of what. And are we talking like fear, terror, anxiety? See, this is vague. Damn it, Janet.
Just regular fear
Fear.
of everything. Excuse me.
This is like, yeah, that's a hard one because I don't know. So someone who's in constant fear probably has trauma. That would be my guess. And I could be wrong. They could just be fearful. But if you have trauma, trauma is not something you deal with on your own. I tell people all the time, like anxiety and nervousness, stress, like these are things we can try all kinds of tools on our own. If you're living in fear, if you have, I don't want to sound therapist-y here. If
It's almost like
you,
we're interviewing a therapist.
right? I know. I'm like symptoms. If you experience, like you're hyper aware of what's going on, right? You're checking around. You're waiting for something bad to happen. That's not normal behavior. There's something driving that. And so I think that kind of fear is worth exploring where it's coming from. If someone's in that space, there's something deeper probably going on, and it probably is going to need help beyond just supportive, loving people. Assuming it's more than just like fear of, me, like I'm afraid of mice and bats and not spiders, that's a lie. Mice and bats and grasshoppers, but spiders don't bother me, but I've encountered the other 3 this week.
Yeah, like in the past 3 days alone.
Like mice, bats, and grasshoppers. It's been fun. Or not. No.
All right, and here is our final question to conclude this series.
Woo woo.
And it's also the most intense one.
Okay. Bracing.
How to stop questioning what I could have done different to save my stepmom from killing herself.
Okay, you already said this one. Girl, I know who you are. Okay, so yes, this is me. I cry with my clients sometimes.
She cries at commercials. Don't be fooled. It's okay.
There is nothing anyone can do. When someone is determined, I don't like vulnerability. Okay, right? I don't like getting emotional. But because I know who we're talking about here and I know where this question came from, there's nothing any of you guys could have done. And anyone who loses someone to a suicide needs to understand that unless you blatantly ignored someone saying, I'm going to kill myself, if they didn't want the help or they weren't prepared to ask for the help or take the help, there's literally nothing you can do. So you cannot own someone else's pain. And I know her, and I would say that while this is a broad thing for anyone who's watching, because I do know who we're talking about, I know she would want you to celebrate the good with her and embrace all the amazing things that you learned from her, her strengths, and just the memory of the good stuff. And she wasn't in a place where you probably could have helped, because she was a strong, amazing woman. And I know that's not helpful in moving past it per se. The only thing that's going to help is time. But I don't believe, knowing the circumstances, that anyone could have known that that's what was going to happen. And I think that's really common with suicide. And I think that the really tragic piece of suicide that we're left with is, how did I not know? What could I have done differently? And we just can't go there, because, like I said, if you weren't told specifically this is what's going to happen, when someone really plans on doing it, a lot of times you just don't know. So instead of beating yourself up and feeling bad about it, just try to celebrate the memories that you have with her. And I would say that for anybody who's watching, you can't change anything. And if you want to do something, you want to be able to move past this, speak out against suicide in her name, maybe. Do something that is who she was, right? And again, like I said, this is very much geared toward one person, because I know where this came from. I didn't know the question until just now. Obviously, it caught me off guard. I think the best way to celebrate and heal, okay, let's not celebrate. The best way to heal that loss is to celebrate someone's life and speak up in their memory, so that someone else doesn't have to experience it. That's all you're left with, I think.
I couldn't have said it better.
And I'm sorry for anyone. Sorry for you, kiddo. And I'm sorry for anyone else who's watching that has lost someone to suicide. And if you have, I really believe the best thing you can do is speak out against suicide. It is the silent killer, and people want to turn the other way and not believe it's going to happen. Whether someone is saying I'm going to do it or they're not, and you are afraid they are. I mean, we don't, but a lot of people, society by and large, just turns the other way. Speak up. There are so many ways you can not only have your voice heard, but you can have the voice of the person you lost heard as well through you. So, on that note, if you know anyone who's depressed, and this is a totally, like I said, I'm totally caught off guard by that, but someone who's depressed and you're worried they may be suicidal, ask. The last thing anyone wants to do is throw out the word suicide when someone's depressed, because there's this belief that if I bring that up, then it's going to put it into their head. If someone's thinking about suicide, they're thinking about suicide. If they're not suicidal and you mention suicide, it's not going to set off some, oh my gosh, that's what I should do. Talk about it. Talk about it. Suicide should be coffee talk. We should be able to talk about, I'm feeling suicidal, like we talk about, I'm angry at my husband, right? I should be able to say that to my friend, to my loved one, and know they're going to be there, they're going to hear me, they're going to support me, and we're going to get through it. If we all embrace that and find a way to sit with it comfortably, not freaking out, but just look at it like it is, that's how change is going to happen. We got to bring awareness. And there are, and she will be adding because she's in charge of these videos here, but there is the National Suicide, the hotline. There are so many resources that you can call, and I've got them all on my website, but I will also pass them along to her to put below, because you can call even if you're worried about someone and have them, have someone go out and check on them. So
I also personally know the individual who has been affected by this very dearly and very close to my heart. And so I personally want to just apologize for your loss, because I love you dearly, and I didn't know her as well, but I knew how much you loved her. So, and I hate vulnerability too, so I'm just gonna pretend I'm not vulnerable, unhealthy coping mechanisms. But you weren't responsible. No one was. Sometimes the things that go on in our heads, no one knows about except for you, because it's so hard to voice out what's going on in your head. And so you were not responsible. You did everything you could without knowing it. And on that depressing note, I love you all. I personally know every single individual who asks questions on here, some of them closer than others. But just know, if you want to talk, I'm here. If you want to talk, she's going to have her information on these two. And whether it's the 15-minute free consultation or you decide to see her or someone else, talking is healthy. Keeping it very deep is not healthy, coming from personal experience. The best way that we can prevent incidents like that happening is making it normal to talk about, like my mom said. And while that's a big leap, just doing that helps a lot. Well, there's just like, I'm really struggling with body image issues, or, man, I'm really stressed out and I can't sleep, I'm having a lot of anxiety. Being open with your friends about how you're actually feeling is a really big step. And for someone who's afraid of sharing feelings, if you guys do it, I'll be like, wow, you're so much braver than I am, because that's a huge thing that needs to happen. But
I would say with that, and it's funny that you just said that, because I just said something about this earlier today. When we are vulnerable, we can show other people it's okay to be vulnerable too, right? If you're willing to step out there and say, I'm hurting, I'm struggling. If I show that piece of me that I want to hide to you, it's almost like permission, right? I can do that too. So it's one way to change the world, is to go, you know what? I can put myself out there. I can say I hurt too. I struggle too. Holding it in, it doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't serve humanity as a whole. We're supposed to connect. That is what we are wired for, hardwired for. We have created these dark walls that say, I have to be strong. It's not how we're wired. So I think you're right. Talk to someone, say I'm hurting, and you open the door for that person to be able to say the same if they are. Yeah.
on that note, thank you guys for finishing this series with us. Thank you for everyone who asked questions. It was a huge thing for me to do too, because I've definitely been probably the most against the whole therapy thing out of my siblings, out of all of us. 5. Yes, I have 5. I am the 5th sibling. I have 4 brothers. I've probably been the most against this, so I think this was a huge thing, but I also know a lot of my viewers could use this, even if I'm struggling myself to accept it. And sometimes you gotta be able to put aside your indifferences. And also help me grow. Helped her grow, probably. Helped all of you who asked the questions grow. Woo! Growth! We're like plants with soil and sun. So, thank you. I know this video was longer than the other 4, but I felt like as a conclusion video, this was definitely where all our good time was spent. So, thank you, and I will see you in whatever video I do next week. Have a good one, guys.